Uh, Good morning, everybody. So, yesterday we talked about our plan that we will discuss some practices and some understandings about the preparing for death. And I mentioned that one of the important preparations for death is to prepare to live or learn how to live life in a good way. And as we discussed and as we all know, that everybody has to die, and we don't know when we are going to die. When we say that we don't know when we are going to die, it doesn't mean that we have lots of time. It could be any time. It could be tonight, tomorrow, next month, next year, or many years. So therefore, it is not necessary that we have lots of time, even if we are not that old or we are not sick or anything like that. So therefore, we need to be prepared. So how to prepare? I think one thing, the most important thing is that to really accept and understand this, that we can die anytime. And sometimes this practice, this understanding of, deeply understanding and accepting the impermanence and uncertainty is sometimes people think it's not a nice thing, because many people actually think about death as a punishment, as something very bad, something remorse. From Buddhist point of view, death is not a punishment. It's just a natural phenomena. As we are born, birth is a natural phenomena. And as long as there is birth, or as there is birth, there has to be death. There can't be death, or there can't be birth without death. So therefore, death is as natural as birth. I think this is something we need to deeply understand. Death is not a punishment. And death can come anytime, and this understanding, sometimes people think this is kind of a sad thing, It's a very kind of how can we think about that I can die or anybody can die anytime? It's a very sad and negative and kind of a gloomy thing. But sometimes not accepting something that you know is more fearful and more gloomy than really directly able to accept and face it. Because it's not a secret. Everybody knows, there is no secret about it. Everybody knows that everybody dies. Everybody had some death in their family. Grandparents, great-grandparents, parents, relatives, neighbors. You know many people. Everybody knows many people who have died. So it's not a secret. And then trying to imagine that it will never come to me is just, a delusion. There's no joy in that. There's no, so therefore, this is imminent, that will come. And when it comes, then am I ready for it? That's the, I think, important thing. Now there are lots of things, from Buddhist point of view, we can prepare. The best way of preparing for death is to really understand ourselves, understand the nature of ourselves. What is it that dies? And this is a little bit deep and maybe not so easy to, maybe easier to understand than experience, but not that easy to understand also. Is that actually deeply, if you really look in the ultimate way, there's really nothing in me that dies. There's nothing in me that dies because there's nothing in me that's there, existing. So therefore, what is there to die? So when there is nothing to die, there's no death. So death doesn't matter. It's just an illusion. When somebody deeply and experientially understands this, and that person overcomes death and completely, what can you say, not only prepared but have transcended the birth and death. And that's actually objective of practices like meditations on Dzogchen, Mahamudra, emptiness, all these things are about that. Maybe we can talk a little bit about that also. We have been talking about those things quite a lot actually before. When we were talking about the meditation and practice of Mahamudra and things like that, actually that's what we are talking about, to bring that experience, to bring that understanding and experience. But then, at our level, what we call relative level, there is birth, there is death, there is rebirth, there is samsara, there is all the problems that we have, and so therefore, everything changes. Now the change, this is actually sometimes important to look at this, the phenomena of change, because this can actually bring us to that understanding slowly. Things change. And things change when we were born. The person that I am now and the person I was when I was born, is it the same or different? My body certainly is not same. At that time, I was like this, I think. Usually, at the most, like 8 pounds, no? Around. And then now I am 180 pounds. And anybody who have seen me that time would never ever recognize me now. Everything has changed. Everything, every cell of my body has changed. But we think that maybe body has changed, but my mind has not changed. I have the same feeling, same. But that's another illusion, because my mind changes even more. What I think, what I feel, what I experience this moment is not the same next moment. So what I see now, all the experience that I have now, Then next moment in the afternoon, I don't have the same experience, same, different thoughts, different emotions, different. So therefore, we have lots of, this is how we understand. I think we discussed this a lot before, so therefore maybe I don't need to go back to it again and again. But why we have, we have problems, we have sufferings. We have difficulties because we feel we don't get what we want, therefore we have problem. We get what we don't want, therefore we have problem. Yeah? Trying to get what we want is a struggle. Trying to get rid of things that we don't want is a struggle, and therefore we have problems. Now all this, why we have that? Because of our negative emotions, aversion, attachment. Why we have that? Because of the way we see things. That's what we call ignorance. We see everything very dualistic. This is something me, I, very concrete, very separate from everything else. And this everything else is there, very concrete, very separate, and existing on their own. And then I should get what I want, I should not get what I don't want, because there's something that's good, something that's bad, something nice to me, something nice, not nice to me, and this, if I get what I like, I will be happy. If I don't get what I don't like, I will be unhappy. And so therefore, I'm always running. But to make it in a very experiential way, sometimes, now this is our main experience, that whether I am happy, I am unhappy, I'm okay or not okay, very much depends on whether I have what I want or I don't have I want, or whether this situation is good and positive or not, how things are, how everything is, how everybody does, makes me happy, unhappy, okay, not okay. We are totally like that, We think that if somebody is not very nice to me, I cannot be okay. I cannot be happy because somebody is not very nice. Or something is not as I wanted. So therefore I can be unhappy. I have to be unhappy.